Hey, I'm Ash, and you're watching the 21st Pilots Lounge.
It's kind of like in a like a Zoom meeting at work. Like you just dress
Yeah,
up on the top part and you know,
that's what I do for stream half the time
yeah.
until someone redeems squats and I'm like, oh crap, let me go fix this situation real quick.
Wait, you have a squat redeem?
Yeah,
Oh no. I
chat
mean,
loves it.
I bet they do.
Yeah,
I've yet to see that, but anyway.
I'm surprised. I feel like, well, at least if Dad was in this stream, he redeems it all the time.
Hey, I'm Ash.
I'm Lisa with Victron Printing.
This is Lucy.
I'm Vanessa Ainsley.
This is Alexia Rodriguez.
I'm Cafe Sparrow.
What's poppin' is Jub.
I'm Violin Elf, and you're watching
21st Pilots Lounge.
21st Pilots Lounge.
21st Pilots Lounge.
So everybody please give it a lip for Leah.
Hello.
Welcome in, Leah. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. It's the end of the year. This is a fun way to celebrate.
Exactly. Yeah, like you're appropriately dressed for this time of year, right?
Yes.
Even though it's kind of cold in Midgar, like 20 around year round, you're just kind of covered by the sun. You're living in the slums underneath the plates, and up there you got the fat cats, the corporate fat cats that I work for. You know what I mean? So like we get all the natural sunlight, but you get the artificial stuff.
Oh yeah.
So,
I definitely have my vitamin D supplements on rotation.
Exactly. Oh, that's good. That's good. It's good. You're taking your vitamins like a good person or a good adult. Or, you know how they say like you're a good kid for doing this? What are you like? What do adults get? Are you like a good adult for doing this? Or
I mean, living, I guess. Like my doctor's just like, hey, you need vitamin D. Please take this. Otherwise, you're going to have consequences.
There you go. A good patient. A good self-care.
The bill of health, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yes, your bill of health is very important, especially as you get older. So, because things don't work as well. Your back, your knees, your arms, your head.
Yeah, I know. I heard your arm popping earlier.
Oh, yeah, that was actually my shoulder rest. I was rubbing my arm on the rubber. Leah, you are a professional cosplayer, fashionista. Can you please share with us how you got into cosplay and what inspired you?
So I started cosplaying way back in 2006. At that time, I was in high school. I heard from friends that there was this thing going on where you could dress up as your favorite anime characters or video game characters. And back then we didn't have much social media. We had MySpace a little bit, but otherwise there wasn't really a realm for that kind of thing. So okay, cool. This is an hour away. Let me go do this. Mom, can you take me, please? So when I went there, I, saw all these people, my friends, they were dressing up. So I just put together a real quick, Rukia schoolgirl costume from Bleach. I was very impressed though, because I just thrifted this stuff, and I found the patch for her glove, and I put that on there, and ooh, I look so cool. So yeah, that was my journey. And actually one of my very first costumes then that next year was Advent Children Tifa, because that was the big thing back then. So I kind of came back to my roots these past couple of years to do Tifa again. So it's been kind of full circle.
Oh, wow. So Tifa was one of your first costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Advent Children Tifa. So,
yes.
Wow, that's crazy. So 2006, that was a crazy year. That was the year I graduated high school, actually. So you were still where were you, a freshman, sophomore?
What was I? I would have been a junior. Or no,
really?
sophomore. I was a sophomore.
A sophomore. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Then. Okay, cool.
So
Okay.
I'm an elder cosplayer.
You're in the same realm. You are in, we're of the millennial age where anime was so archaic and so limited. It was just starting to pick up momentum though. Around 2006, 7, you had Hellsing, you had, what other shows? Bleach, Naruto was picking up. Yeah. So
Bleach was my jam.
Bleach was that the first show you got into? Or
kind of. I mean, way back, I was, of course, a Sailor Moon girly. I remember waking up when I was I was 6 years old, and I found this random channel at 5 o'clock in the morning that had it. Yeah. I forget what it was, but I would literally set my alarm just to wake up and watch Sailor Moon, and then fall back asleep for that couple hours. At 6 years old, I don't know how I time managed that, but it worked. And then didn't really watch much anime after that. And then, I kind of guess like that resurgence around like, freshman, sophomore year, got into Inuyasha. That came on, what was it, Toonami? Or Adult Swim, like at nighttime?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and then Bleach. So like that kind of like resurfaced all of that for me again. And then Death Note. Yeah, all of those. There were some good ones back then.
Yeah, like the early
They're coming back. Everyone's like, look at these vintage animes.
It's weird calling them vintage now because like the 90s anime, like Evangelion, Trigun, Ranma 1/2, Tenchi Muyo, like when those hit Toonami, like those were already like well over in Japan. Even Dragon Ball Z, like when we got it, like GT just ended in Japan and it was like old news. So it's like but once the internet and like, technology got more advanced and licensing and anime became more marketable, like everything was coming out on time. Because I kid you not, one time, I think it was Anime Expo 2002 or 3, where the creator of, I think it was Hellsing or some other show, said like, he literally told the audience like, how is this show so popular here? I don't remember licensing this here. And I'm like, anyway, next question. So, yeah, that was just very surreal and funny to see something like that. Like a creator of an anime not being aware that it's like popular in another country where it's not even brought yet, legally at least. So going back to what you said, Sailor Moon, definitely a pioneer in the anime industry, especially here in America. Did you ever watch like, what else was on? Like Dragon Ball, like was syndicated at the time. So were you mostly into Toonami, anime, Cartoon Network, whatever was on there?
You mean like American cartoons, I guess? Or
No,
like, are you strictly talking like anime?
Like anime. Well, even American cartoons too. Like I loved Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was like a big, like I didn't have Disney Channel. We like our subscription plan was like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. So I was very much like watching those. So I do remember like Avatar coming out too. Yes. That was exciting times. I wasn't like super into it, but I remember watching some of it. I never really got into like Pokemon back in the day because I was like a very girly girl like in elementary school. So I'm just like only Sailor Moon. Or like I did like Gigapets, but we had Pokemon like banned from our school, I remember. So I think that was the other reason like I didn't really watch it. Cause I'm like, well, I can't even get the cards. They won't let us. It was like a big deal back then. Yeah. Like, cause kids were just like bringing their Pokemon cards and like trading them at recess. And they're like, this is gambling. We can't be doing this for the children. And like, yeah, it was people getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Pokemon, like, when I was in 5th grade, back in the 90s, back in 99, 98, when it became first popular, like, yeah, we got our Game Boys taken away. We had the cards taken away. Oh God, it was insane. Like just the
Gigapets. Like I
yes.
remember people's going off in like their little like their pencil cases. You'd hear it like chirping or whatever because it needed to be like feeding them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
Did you ever have
Simple
Tamagotchi?
Times.
Yeah.
I did. I remember like getting so mad because like I'd hear it in the middle of the night and I ended up like, I don't know. I think I like threw it out or something because I was just tired of hearing it.
You just
I know
abandoned it? You just dumpster babied it? Oh my God.
Listen, I was a 7-year-old. I didn't know what to do with it. I wasn't ready to raise it on my own. It was hard. And my mom's like, I'm not dealing with that.
You weren't ready to be a parent yet.
No, it was a lot.
God. Probably just stuck to baby dolls or something. I don't know.
Yeah, my Barbie dolls didn't chirp at me.
Good. That would be weird if they did. Did you ever have any of the Sailor Moon dolls? Or like
I did. So I was like very obsessed. So I remember specifically like some of the stores by us, I had like a sweatshirt like with Sailor Moon stuff. I had some of the dolls. I had the Crescent Moon wand. My mom got rid of a lot of it though, so I was like kind of bummed with that. I actually like on eBay like repurchased one of the like old 1995 Crescent wands.
Yeah.
The dolls though, I don't know if I'd want to repurchase them. They were kind of weird looking.
Oh.
Like I know they're like a very sought after collection because I mean in the back here it's blurred, but that's one of the main things I collect is actually like Sailor Moon things. So I've got some like expensive replicas and stuff back here that I'll kind of splurge on. That's like my main thing. I'm like I will spend money on collections just for Sailor Moon, nothing else.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's like your top tier. Like mine's Transformers. It used to be Gundam. So yours is Sailor Moon and League of Legends.
Yeah. More so Sailor Moon. For League of Legends, I did get that Lux statue, but only because for namesake, and she's my girly.
Gotcha.
So like for some of the League stuff, I will. I do really like big figures. I will splurge on more of those kinds of things than just like the smaller like trinkets. I'd rather have like the big, more statement pieces. I don't know. I just, as a collector, I think it's more exciting. It's like an exclusive kind of thing.
That's awesome. That's cool. So you still collect to this day. Like, so what would you say is like your most prized part of your collection?
One thing like for my Sailor Moon stuff that I really go after is mostly like the different weapons that they have. So like recently they had Sailor Moon Cosmos that came out, and they had like one of the, I don't have it displayed here because I'm still trying to figure out how to display it because it's huge actually. It's one of her like really tall, it's the Eternal Tiara. It's just like a big staff. So I'm trying to figure out how to put that in a display case. It's really nice. But I also got like a really cute music box that's actually, it's pretty rare now. I found it at Box Lunch. It was just like a random thing that I'm like, oh, it's actually on sale. Let me get this. Like, it's cute. It's like got Princess Serenity and Prince Endymion, like Tuxedo Mask and Sailor Moon on the top of it. And it spins. And it's actually like worth a lot of money now. So,
oh, wow.
It's just the thing with collecting though. And I'm sure you're like other people know this and you too. It's like you want to take it out of the box to display it, but you know that it'll lose its value from that way. But I still at least keep the boxes. So that way, if I ever decide to sell it or like pack it up, like I have it all. So I just have like a closet full of just like all my big boxes for the items.
Oh, that's good. It's good to always keep it in the box. NRFB, never remove from box. If you remember where that's from, you'll earn points for that. So I see back there you got like your sewing machine, you got your threads back there. So is that where you like work on your costumes?
Yes. My space here, my streaming / crafting room, very messy. I'm a very messive creative person. Like when I start crafting something, it's like everywhere until I finish the project. So yes, I've got like my sewing machine back there. I've got some different tables that I'll do like my armor work on, like for the glue gun setup. I've got a Cricut machine, just a lot of different things that I have in here. But it gets kind of cramped, especially like I said, when you've got a con coming up and you're working on like 4 different costumes.
So do you work on like multiple costumes at once, like for each con that's coming up, or like do you have like one planned out for each con? Like how do you decide what to dress up as or what to make for an upcoming con?
It depends. So a lot of it, what I try to do is kind of like, okay, what does the venue look like? Who's going to be there that I'm going to shoot with? I kind of do a lot of mine dependent on like what kind of photo shoots I'm going for. So like, for instance, KatsuCon that takes place in Baltimore. It's known to have like the really pretty gazebo. It's got marble. It's a very like sought after convention, especially for like higher level cosplayers or just like experienced ones. Like it's kind of like the big one. So I knew I wanted to bring something big there. Just like there were some really good photographers that I really wanted to shoot with that were there too. So I'm just like, what fits this look that I can really like showcase and just like, I love like on location shoots. So anything that really portrays the character well. So like for that one, I wanted to make sure I had my Princess Serenity costume with like the long, like kind of ethereal, dreamy looks because it fit that vibe. So I think, yeah, just really planning that. And then, of course, like if there's group costumes that I'm doing with friends, that's, to me, that's like my main motivator is if I have other people that I'm doing a group with, I'm like, okay, I for sure have to buckle down and get this done because like these people are depending on me. But then also too, like if I have a photo shoot, I'm like, man, I put in money in for this. Like I got to make sure this looks good.
Exactly. Wow. So how long does it take for you to make a costume out on average?
It depends. If it's like an armor build, those will sometimes take a little bit longer. Especially too, just because you have wait time with those. So obviously you can't like paint things right away. You have to wait for it to prime. You have to wait for certain things. Wait for things to 3D print. Like there's some things that are just like out of your control. So at that point, that's when I'll like, okay, let me work on this costume while this is drying, or like just a lot of multitasking, hence the chaos.
Yeah.
I would say though, I could probably get most costumes done within a couple weeks. I've buckled down on it pretty good because I've procrastinated a lot.
Couple
So I'm like,
weeks.
yeah, I can get a lot done in a short amount of time if I need to.
Dang, that's
I think too, just over time, you like figure out like where you can kind of cut corners if you need to.
yeah.
And I've gotten better too at like, okay, this doesn't have to be like 100% accurate as long as I've got something here, or like I can finish up this like at the con if I need to. But also like, I don't like finishing stuff up at the cons. I know a lot of people do that and they're always stressed about it. And like, if there's cosplayers watching right now, like just enjoy your time. Like it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like enjoy your time there. Don't stay in your hotel worrying about your costume the whole time.
Right.
It's okay.
I've seen so many cosplayer friends like with their sewing machines and like rigs set up in their hotel room, like it's running like a sweatshop in there. It's like, guys, go to the con. Just don't worry about it right now. It's like your patch doesn't have to be like in the exact same spot, like just like in the right spot or whatever they were doing. And it's like trimming up their wigs and dyeing their hair. And I'm just like, guys, like masquerade's going to start like in an hour. Like, you know.
I mean, the only thing is, I guess, if you're competing, then I can understand it a little bit more. But if it's just, you know, walking around the hallways, just having fun with your friends, like,
you don't
it's
wanna
okay.
waste-
And there's so much that you, like, there's the 5-foot rule that I, like, always think about, too. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at all these little details. There are things that I'm going to notice more than, like, the random person that's walking down here is not going to see. If it looks good from 5 feet away, it's going to look good in pictures.
Exactly.
Like, a lot of times things look better in pictures than they may, like, up close in real life. So I'm just, don't worry as much now.
Exactly. Like the fans are just going to appreciate you wearing the costume in general. You know, every little single detail doesn't have to be super accurate. So that's good advice there for any cosplayers watching. We have actually had many cosplayers on the show, and a lot of them I've noticed like some of them have had actually costumes commissioned. But do you make everything yourself? Or do you,
Oh, no.
you network a little bit? Okay. So what do you normally get like commissioned and pre-made?
So it's funny because I was actually just talking to my stream about this. This is something that I think a lot of cosplayers have noticed over the years. Obviously, back when I started, you couldn't really buy like mass-produced costumes, so you did have to make a lot of it on your own. But nowadays, there's so many sellers that you can buy them from, and a lot of them are like very reasonably priced. So if you were to compare it and see like, okay, if I were to make this from scratch with my own materials that I'm buying versus like buying this pre-made costume, like it's substantially cheaper to just buy pre-made. So like considering the time and like things that go into it, a lot of the times what I do is like I'll buy pre-made costumes from places and then I'll kind of like spruce it up on my own. Since I do know how to sew and do some other things, I at least have that privilege to where I can, you know, alter it to fit a little bit better, add some like extra details. And just plus, I mean, yeah, with timing, like some of us don't have that luxury to have the time to like do that. But also I've commissioned like the bigger ball gowns. That's something that I'm still not comfortable sewing. Or at least I haven't wanted to try to sew. So I have my Snow White costume that was like been one of my dream costumes. I actually wore that at KatsuCon too. And I had that commissioned. But then that was another one too that I ended up like putting the beading on myself. And so the base of it was all commissioned though.
Okay. Gotcha. Definitely helps with time. Not always the most budget-friendly option, but it definitely helps with time. And I guess if like it's something that if it's like a craft you don't have down exactly, like beading and stuff, so it's extra time.
I think for me too, like a lot of mine is the timing. I have a full-time job. I travel for work, and I still do streaming and everything else. So it's hard to find the time. So I think for me, I'm very strategic on which ones I'm like, okay, this character like is super important to me. I want to make sure like it has every piece of my being in it. And then that's where I'll kind of be like, okay, this is like my main project. I'm going to do all this by hand.
Gotcha. So how do you manage like your time with your full-time work and travel and all that and streaming as well?
Calendars, to-do lists, checklists, trying to stay organized. It's hard to sometimes, but as much as like a routine and I don't know, using those resources, it does help.
You've been cosplaying since 2006, where the cosplay world at the time was still kind of growing. So like you've entered competitions, have you been in masquerades and like, so can you tell me about your masquerades? Like, do you do the skits where you have to lip sync to an audio track and had it like a script or?
So was always too shy to do that stuff. So kudos to everyone that can do the skits. I could never do that. I was way too nervous.
Really?
Yeah. Well, when I first started, so I did more of the competing probably within like 5 years. Our big one that we competed with, my sister and I and our friend, we did BioShock, the little sister and big sister.
Oh.
And we actually won a couple of masquerades with that. So we just went on the stage. We basically were just judged on the costume skills. So we didn't have to do any acting. So we've done those. I've done a couple like hallway costume contests. I did like Moxie from Borderlands. That won an award. That one I did like fully make too on my own. And then I think that might be about it. There might have been a couple other ones, but I've kind of, since I've grown with the industry, I guess, now I've done some of my own judging to where I've been like one of the judges of the masquerade. So I've been able to judge people for their skits and just judging like for the costume skills. And I really enjoy that. So I've done it like for the actual, like the big masquerades. Specifically, I did it for like Anime Milwaukee. And then I did the hallway costume judging for a couple of other cons too. So I enjoy that a lot because I like to hear from other cosplayers, whether they're like newer to the scene or like they've done it a couple times. And like you said too, like the skits, I don't know, it's interesting. Like a couple times for them, I'm like sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is like, it's just the three of us and this like group's performing for us. And I'm like, they're just performing for us right now, like to do the judging first, and they're gonna go like on the big stage.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wow, I'm like, I wish I could dance like that, or like I wish I could like like know how to act that well. Like they're so talented.
That's awesome. You get like a free show, like a private show.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. It's like a VIP show. You get a VIP treatment with that. That's cool. It's like when you're judging cosplay, do you look for like accuracy of like costume and character? Like what do you look for when you're judging a costume?
When I'm judging a costume, so I still like to see like reference photos. I think that's what a lot of the contests recommend, is if you can like show us how things were made or like at least kind of walk us through. But just like I like looking for all the little details. Like I know a lot of people, when you see the masquerades and everything, I know there's been a lot of discussion on it too. Like, why did this person win? This person's costume was huge. But like a lot of times they don't see all of those really finite like details, like especially with sewing. Sewing is so underrated, I feel like, especially from like the competitor's perspective. You just see like a big costume, and you know, big armor costumes are amazing, but sewing something really nicely with nice hems, nice detailing, embroidery, like hand embroidery, that all takes a lot of time and like very like preciseness too. So I think that, but also too, when I'm judging and like looking like for specific like awards, what kind of mixed media they have. So like, did they do really well with sewing? Do they have armor? Have they done like metal work? We've seen people that have done like the LEDs, just like all the different materials that they can work with just to make them a bit more well-rounded. That's always going to put you up higher on the scale for like the ranking for that.
Okay, so the craftsmanship of the costume, basically. Also, since you're such a detailed person, you look for all the little details, and like that's crazy. I can't imagine, like, say if you're judging someone as simple as a Chihiro from like Spirited Away versus, I don't know, Legato from Trigun, you know, with all the spikes and stuff. Like, I mean, what would you tell someone who's doing like a simple cosplay? Like it's like a Ness or Mario.
I love simple costumes because it gives you a lot more freedom to kind of make it your own rendition of the character, which that's something I like to do sometimes too. Like I did that a little bit with my Lux because she has kind of a basic default skin. So I'm like, okay, she's like royalty, she's a princess. Let me add some extra like elaborate details. Like, so if a person can, you know, add a little bit more details, like if it's Mario and they decide to add like little details of like, you know, Yoshi's eggs or I don't know, something like that. Like there's little things you can do that are like motifs to the character or like that would go with their environment or just their overall personality that I think you could really make it your own, but also like your choices in materials, how you've sourced them. I mean, we've heard some really interesting stories from people that like they've recycled some of the materials or like they've just different creative things. And it's like, wow, like you would have never known that if you just saw them right there, but hearing that background story, like it puts it together like, wow, this person like did so much more than what like you're seeing the big picture.
So some of them have like a story like behind it. Like whenever you're doing like a masquerade, do they ever explain like, oh, like this character meant something to them, or like this was my parents' costume? I've actually seen that before. It was pretty crazy at this point now. It's like, this was my mom's Sailor Moon costume and I'm wearing it now. And I was like, whoa, dang, I'm not that old, but it looks cool, you know? Like, so you've like seen stuff like that, or like heard stories, cosplay stories.
Yeah. I mean, it's
yeah.
It's at different levels too, because I mean, like a masquerade judging is very different than like the hallway one. Hallway, you're going to have more beginners, a lot younger crowd too. So they're kind of, you know, experimenting and working with like some more simple items that you can find around the house, which I actually like really appreciate that, because, you know, that, I mean, you see a piece of cardboard or like bottle caps and it's like they're turning that into something huge.
Have you ever actually seen people cosplay as Gundams using boxes, like cardboard boxes and like bottle caps?
It's genius.
It's very creative. It's very crafty. You know, it's
Yeah.
not cheap looking. It's dedication, right? There you go.
It is.
As far as like the psychology of a cosplayer, let's say you're in costume at a con. Do you ever feel compelled to be in the character, like interact with people like as whoever you're cosplaying as?
I mean, I think to an extent. I know some people, they are very much more in character. But yeah, I think a little bit. Like, I know recently I've done more like cutesy, friendly characters. And then like I did my Reina costume and I'm like, ooh, I can't smile as much now. Like you kind of like have to like put on that like straight face, or just like, I mean, obviously like if I'm talking to someone, I'm still going to act like Leah. But still, like if you're posing for pictures, like it does put you in that mood. So I'm just like, all right, let me pose now.
When you're walking around a con in costume, do you kind of like think in your head, like how many people are going to want to take pictures of you? Like how often you're going to get stopped? Anyone going to recognize you? Because you are a notable figure in the cosplay world at this point. So like, does that ever cross your mind, or you just kind of go about your day and just wing it?
I think I did for a while, but I think I'm kind of past that point where I'm just like, like I have other things I'm doing. I have somewhere to be. If they want to say hi though, I'm always like more than welcome to come up and take pictures or chat with people. But okay. I know for me personally, like I'm very much an introvert. So like going to cons, like I can portray the extrovert, you know, part, but it's like draining for me.
Oh yeah.
So especially like after being stopped for so many times or just making small talk, it's a lot after a while.
Yeah, I bet. Like, oh my God, Leah, like it's kind of surreal being approached by somebody you don't know, right? Like just recognizing you from your social media and whatever. What goes through your mind like when you're meeting like a fan?
I think at first I'm just like, oh crap, did I know this person? Did I meet them before? Like I don't want to sound like a jerk. Sometimes just like, can you remind me, like, where did I meet you, or like how do you know me? Because I mean, again, too, like with streaming, like I have a different audience on streaming versus Instagram, and like I don't know, I mean, I think too, just because I'm older, like there's like this whole like new audience of like younger generation that I'm just like, I don't know who these kids are. Like, do they know who I am? I don't think so. I don't know.
What, do you have like young kids coming up to you, or like just younger? Like
high school age. And I'm just like, oh, really? Hi.
Oh, they're like, oh my God, Leah, I love your costumes. Yeah. You're my inspiration.
A couple of them. Yeah. I mean, I don't get like a lot of fans like that. Okay.
Touching base with the Zoomers.
But yeah, just some people. Yeah. Some people recognize. Yeah. It's always cool. Nice though.
So like a TwitchCon, it is. Yeah. So like a TwitchCon, like do you get like viewers you've never met before, like in person, like, or that you don't even recognize or know, like just random people say, hey, I love your stream.
Not so much at TwitchCon, I don't think, because I don't know. At TwitchCon, it's so like you got the really big name people there.
Yeah.
I did have a couple though that like we met up with, and that was really cool. It's like mainly the people like from my Discord that I met up with. So it was nice to kind of put the names with the faces. But yeah, more so Midwest is where people are gonna recognize me or know who I am, just because I've been in like this area for so long and I've attended so many of the Midwest cons.
Gotcha.
We do have quite a few people though, like East Coast. Like if we go to Dragon Con, we'll see some people that we know there that we recognize.
Speaking of cons, so it's another question I want to ask you. like the big cons. Did you ever go to AX, Otakon? You said Dragon Con, right? So Sakura Con, like what big cons have you been to?
Biggest con would be probably Dragon Con for me.
Really?
I've done the PAX. I've done PAX Prime in Seattle. I've done PAX East. Obviously TwitchCon, if you consider that a bigger con. KatsuCon. Oh, Hallmat, that was in Florida. That one's pretty sizable.
Are you part of any cosplay groups or anything like that?
Not like specific ones. I know here with Chicago we have Cosplay Chicago, that they do like a lot of events. So I've done a couple of those, but I've never like gone to other like out of state cons with like a group like that.
Gotcha. I mean, of course, there's like the whole like if it's a smaller con, it's more laid back, it's chill. You know, it's not as much like Squarespace you have to venture toward, but like the big con as a cosplayer, do you ever feel compelled to have to like wear your best costume? You got to go to this like cosplay gathering and that cosplay gathering and this, you got to get on the masquerade on that big stage, or, you know, like, do you ever feel like pressured when you're going to a big con at all or anything like that?
A little bit. Yeah. I think more so like a couple years ago again. I don't know. I'm kind of at this spot right now where I feel like I'm taking my cosplay journey in a little different direction and just trying to focus more on doing my own interviews or like, you know, doing press for the conventions, doing panels. So doing more of like that part of it. Whereas like before, yes, I was like very much like, oh my gosh, like I got to make sure like I'm up there with all these like elite cosplayers and, you know, putting on your best game. But, yeah, I don't know. I think too, just since I'm still always wanting to meet new people, new photographers, new cosplayers, whoever's out there. But when it comes to photo shoots, I'm much more interested in like on location shoots if I can versus like venue shoots at cons, unless I know that the venue's like really nice. But more often than not, like they all look pretty similar. So I'm like, let's go to the mountains or like somewhere else that like we can encapsulate like this character.
Exactly. Take advantage of the locale.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're up in Washington, like it's beautiful up there. So you have a lot of beautiful scenery. The city is like, it's like an actual city. Like it's nice, you know, get a good city shot, like, and take advantage. Definitely.
Yeah. But I mean, definitely like you mentioned with the different like cosplay meetups. Yeah. I do try to look at those and see if I have like different costumes that would like match with them. Because that is a great way to meet new people, especially because it's easy to make conversation that way, of course. Yeah. You all have the similar interests with the same anime or video game.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to network. When I go to a con, like I would show up to some of the cosplay meetups just to meet other people who like Super Smash Brothers or or if it's like an older show. Like I remember in 2010, that was like my last anime expo. And I was like, okay, there's all this new anime. I can't get into it. Where are the old school people at, you know? So I went to a Trigun Evangelion cosplay meetup, and I was just there to meet the cosplayers and get pictures with them. I'll never forget when I was 12 years old and seeing all these people dressed up as my favorite Gundam Wing characters and how accurate they were, and you know, just seeing that as a kid just mesmerized me.
Yeah.
And seeing Cloud, like I love Final Fantasy VII. Since I was 9 years old, I love that game. And then seeing it later on in person, especially, okay, I'm a huge Aerith fan. Like she was like my first video game crush. And seeing this beautiful Aerith cosplayer at Anime Expo, I was just like, oh my God. You know, at a ooh-woo moment. That was like my first ooh-woo moment.
Yeah.
And so since then, I was just been blown away, like joining cosplay.com. I'm sure you had a profile on there.
I did, yep. I used to feel like the only thing back then, yeah.
Yeah. That was before social media. That was before Instagram and like all these websites. And there was also cosplaylab.com. I think that was another one. Did you ever join that one?
I think I do remember that, yeah. I don't think I joined. I think I just had the cosplay.com, but I remember hearing that one.
Yeah. Oh man, there's just all these like networks. There's all these communities online of photographers dedicated to taking pictures of all the cosplayers there, whether you were, you know, a cheap cosplayer like me, or even the high budget ones. You know, it's crazy. Like nobody was excluded. Nobody was judged until There's stories I've heard later on where like there was like the cosplay world got a little more like sassy, like a little more judgmental, so to say. Like, would you say is that how it is now, or is it very welcoming?
I think it's slowly healing. I have some positive outlooks on it. I honestly think that the pandemic made things really weird, just for content creators in general. I mean, look, you had all these Twitch streamers start up because everyone was at home.
Yeah.
You're just like, what do you do? And then like the ones that were interested in starting, cosplays, their audience was at home on TikTok, so they didn't really know how to act when they went to cons like for the first time, and like it was just
Really?
strange. Yeah, because I mean, I still see it where I'm just like, wow. Like, there's all these people that have like hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok. I'm like, I don't know who they are though. I'm like, I guess I missed that part, on TikTok. But that's cool. But no, I mean, I think there's still always that popularity contest feel, and I think that's just inevitable in a creative space. We're all doing our own thing, and that's just how it is. But
Yeah.
everyone just needs to be nice.
Exactly. We're all
And
in this
accepting.
together. Yeah. I mean, it's like any community of anything, like whether it's gaming. I mean, you play League, right? So that's like the most toxic game ever, right?
Yeah, I got real thick skin.
Good, because like I'm sure
I grew up on Xbox Live.
Oh, the Halo days on Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did you ever play Halo back in the day?
Oh yeah, I was big into Halo. I actually used
Really?
to compete with Halo.
Oh, well, compete. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hold on a second. How'd you go from Halo to League of Legends? Like what?
I don't know, because Halo died.
That it did, unfortunately. Yeah.
No, so I mean, realistically, like I did conventions and stuff. 2006 was like a little bit into cosplay, but I always had gaming roots. Like I was very much a gamer, more so than like an anime nerd. I was a gamer nerd, like through and through, like staying up till 2, 3 in the morning in high school playing WoW all day.
Wow.
Didn't go to prom. I had raid night that day.
You didn't go to prom?
No. I was killing
Oh.
Illidan, sir.
Oh my God. You skipped prom. You heard it here first, folks. You skipped prom night to go on a raid and WoW.
I was on a date with Illidan Stormrage. Thank you very much.
Wait, what?
Illidan Stormrage from World of Warcraft.
Who or what is
Burning
that?
Crusade.
Is that an AI character in the game?
No, he's not an AI character.
Oh.
He's beautiful. He's a beautiful man. Demon.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Anyway, off of that tangent. Where were we going with this? Oh, Halo. So yeah. I took a little bit of like at the time I was like doing like one new costume a year for cons. So I had like, all my free time. I was just playing games. I played so much. Can I cuss on here? By the way, I don't know. Okay. I played the shit out of Halo 3. I did so much Halo. And eventually we had like little agencies back then too. So I used to be part of like a gaming girl agency. I got to work promo booths for Gunners. So like the gaming glasses. So I did a couple of, that's actually how I got to PAX. That's how I went to both of those events. But then they had a team. Yeah, I was a booth babe.
There you go. More appropriately.
But they had a team that they were looking for NOS, the energy drink.
Yeah.
They were sponsoring a girls team. So I got to play at MLG Halo 4 in Dallas, Texas.
Really?
This was like back in 2012 on their Halo team. So it was really cool. It's like one of my first like big like experiences, like having a sponsor and stuff. Like, oh my God, this is so cool. And fun fact, the guys team had Ninja on it. So I knew Ninja back then. Yeah.
You met Ninja when, oh dang. Mm-hmm. A sponsored event with the biggest name in gaming. Look at you.
Yeah.
Dang.
It was fun days, but alas.
Alas, here you are. Now you're a big Twitch streamer. You have your own community in your own right. So what games did you start off with other than Halo? What else did you play before then?
My dad was a big gamer. So he always had like all the console systems for us in the house. So we had Sega Genesis that we had, and I played like Sonic was like one of my first games.
Yes.
And then got the PlayStation 1. I loved Crash Bandicoot. Then I didn't get a PlayStation 2, so I didn't actually get to play like the Final Fantasy games and stuff unless I was over at my friend's house.
What about the ones on PS1? Like 7, 8, 9?
I don't think I had those. No.
What?
I think I was too young for that still at the time.
Wait, so did you only know Advent Children from the movie, or
At first, yeah. So I watched the movie and then I like played the game. Like I went back and like got all the stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we like had to jump from PlayStation and then we became Xbox people. So then we got the Xbox One, played Halo 2, played Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance. That's like one of my favorite games. What else? Yeah, then of course Xbox 360, still Halo kid. Some Call of Duty games.
Gears of War.
I did play a little bit of Gears of War, yeah.
Love that. I actually like
Left 4
that
Dead.
more than I actually like Gears a little more than Halo. But
Really?
story wise, like I just love the story and it was co-op, split screen co-op, and
Yeah. I'm very much I like team deathmatch. I love PvP.
Yeah.
So like even when I played WoW, so I played WoW like back when I was like 15 to like 22. Like I played a really long time.
Really?
I actually, I was one of those people that I think like it was my open house for my graduation, and I had like to interview with this guild because I was switching servers to be on like a high end rating guild. Like they did like the top tier, like world firsts and stuff.
Oh man.
So yeah, that was my extracurricular activities. I just was on my computer playing games all the time.
PC gamer, console gamer. You start off with some good titles like Sonic. That was one of my first games too. Did you ever play like Street Fighter or Mega Man or like Mario?
Yeah, I did Mario.
Yeah.
I think I did that more like on I had a Game Boy Advance, so I did Mario on there, and then I did like the Zelda games on there too.
Zelda, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did some of the I did like Final Fantasy 3, I think, on there too. I don't know, whatever was on Game Boy Advance back then.
Okay, so wow. Okay, so you had a plethora. You went from just casually gaming to competition. Oh my god! Like, what was another big game at the time? Was Counter-Strike. That was a really fun game. That was, like when you went to. Did you ever go to the net cafes? Like when we used to have them here in America.
So we have like a couple of gaming lounges here.
Yeah.
But not like the actual like cafes like back then where it was just like CS:GO 24/7. No.
Yeah. Oh, those were the days going there. And people were checking their MySpaces, like, and just hanging out, like, you know, and they had like lock-in events where you like pay like $10 and you're just there all night playing competitions and tournaments and stuff. Did you ever do any of those or?
I did no tournaments at those kind of places, but like the cons that we'd go to, they would have like mini tournaments that we would do.
Dang, that's
but
crazy.
Just only for Halo usually.
Okay, so kind of going into your Twitch. Into your venture into Twitch. So you mentioned earlier that the pandemic did grow a lot of streamers. Like, you know, I started hanging out there, not initially, like that's when I started hanging out there full time. But like, when did you start hanging out on Twitch and when did you start streaming?
So with Twitch, I started back in probably 2012. I think literally like after I attended my MLG event, because that's where everyone was just like, oh, like you should stream. We'll watch you. Like, all the people that I met there, basically. So I started streaming. I had, at that time, a streaming for my Xbox 360. So I had to have, what was it? A POG, like, capture card, like, thing. I don't know. It was crazy. Yeah. I don't know how I did it, because I streamed off of my gaming laptop, too. So it was, like, rough.
Oh, man.
But majority of my following that I had was from back then. And then I was just never consistent with streaming. Like I did it for a couple months at a time, and then I would just like take really long breaks. And then I got into League a little bit and was doing that. I did a couple of like charity events with our agency. So I would just like kind of make appearances for those, just like here and there sporadically, because I mean, honestly, back then, like nobody thought you could make a career of it. Like you weren't getting money for things. It was just like, I'm just doing this for fun. Like what's point? So, and I mean, all by this time too, like I've already like had full-time jobs and, you know, doing adult things. So I didn't take it very seriously. And then since like, again, the pandemic, I even didn't really do much then either. I was actually very busy with the pandemic, like with my job. I'm in like medical. So we didn't slow down.
Really? You were in the medical field?
Yeah. I had like 2 weeks off work while they were like figuring some stuff out, like our PPE and everything. But then after that, we had to open up, and we were like one of the like only facilities open in the area. So we were like seeing an exorbitant amount of people. So very busy. So I did not even think about touching Twitch at the time.
Oh man.
So I think I kind of made my like kind of like bigger return or like more dedicated return, I guess. What was it, like 2021? I was starting to work on a bigger costume. And I'm like, you know what? Let me like film myself doing this because like I think maybe I'll be more motivated if I can like see people and chat with people while I'm working on stuff. So I did that and it was pretty fun. Got to like meet a lot of new people and kind of see like what Twitch has kind of turned into, because again, back when I was doing it before, there wasn't a just chatting category. There wasn't like all this other stuff. Like it was just like gamer only.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's cool that they like have all these different options now and you can just be more casual and just, you know, vibe with people. So I've been enjoying a lot more this time, I think. So I've stuck to it now for what, like almost consistently 3 years now. So it's a good run.
Yeah, totally. There's a lot more you can do now on Twitch. You know, there's DJs, musicians. I think like the coolest thing about Twitch definitely during the pandemic was, aside from the gaming, like, and playing games with the streamer, that level of interaction is like, it's the music performances, like where, like, do you follow a lot of music streamers?
I have a couple that I do.
Okay. I'm a concert guy, and, you know, we're going to definitely talk about music later. So like there's no concerts going on, no festivals. So, but on Twitch, you get a concert every night and they're playing all your favorite songs, all your covers. Like some of them are like having emo nights on, like DJs are having emo nights on Twitch. Like, oh, it was so cool.
See, I think it's amazing too. I have someone that I follow that's a friend of mine that she DJs and she got her start off from the Final Fantasy servers.
Really?
So she would like post in there, hey, I'm going live. And they would have like their little like meetups in the game and like just all jam out like with the DJ sets. I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah, FF14, right? Like they have I see a lot of those streamers that do that in the game. Like you can just jump in and you can be on stream. I think that's another level of interaction that's beyond. So that's really creative that people integrate that. So like there's also like a VR chat. I think that's another game where you can like join in and have a DJ set. That's pretty cool. Was it Justin TV back then? Like when
I think it like just changed, because I do remember Justin TV. Like some of the people that like I knew or watched back then, it was Justin TV. So I think it was like right around that time that they transferred.
Okay, so this is a question I've been meaning to ask. I'm going to give you a scenario, and I'd like to know how you would handle this. Basically, the question is, how would you handle an issue in your community? Now, this is not a real scenario. It's not how I feel against yours. Say, like, somebody doesn't feel like they're welcomed in in your community. They feel like they're neglected. They don't fit in. Like they're having a hard time connecting with you and everyone else. But they wanna try and get to know you and everyone and play League of Legends, you know, or whatever. How would you handle that situation? Would you let your mods like handle that first and then come to you, or would you want to try to accommodate the person? Like, how would you handle something like that if someone was struggling to connect in your community but wants to be a part of it?
I think I would first want to make sure that, I mean, we have our bases covered. Like, do our rules state this, like that they can reach out to us? Do we have like, you know, that they're not being discriminated against? If they feel like there is some kind of discrimination, like we of course want to address that, because like I don't vibe with that. Like we are very LGBTQ plus friendly, like, you know, no racism, none of that stuff. So I would want to make sure it's nothing like heavy hitting like that. If it's solely like that personality wise, they're just not feeling like they're being accepted or like bonding with us. We do community nights, so I think I would want to just make sure like, okay, like let's get them in here and maybe warn my mods like, hey, by the way, like this person is feeling a little left out or something. Like let's, you know, pay some extra close attention to that. And if we feel like vibes are kind of off, like with them, with another person, just kind of see where that's going. Because more often than not, I mean, it's probably like a couple individuals that would maybe be making them feel that way. I would hope it's not like everybody that is. Right. And if that's the case, then you can, you know, have a quiet offline conversation and a Discord channel and talk to those individuals about what's happening.
Okay, so you would try to like resolve it hands-on. Like you wouldn't just pass it off to someone else or allow your mods like to like gang up on that person and like, you know.
Yeah, no. I stand by my mods. I mean, I think they know me like personally, like how I am.
Yeah.
I want everyone to feel accepted, but yeah, no negativity.
Yes.
I mean, again, too, like I have the privilege, like that I am, a smaller streamer to where I can manage that. Like if you do have a bigger audience, you're not going to probably have the time as much to do that. So at that point, you would really have to trust that your mods can handle it.
Right. That's why I want to ask someone of your size, because the reason why I asked that is because during my time on Twitch, like in the past 4 or 5 years I've been on here, is that there's various levels of communities. There's the ones that are very cliquey. There's ones that are like even the small ones, like your size, that are very cliquey. There's like all these inside jokes, and they don't really pay attention to the newbies. Like even though they participate in all these games and like activities, like movie nights and whatnot, off stream even, but it always revolves around a certain group. Of course, like every community is going to have the regulars, right? So, like my experience with your community has always been positive. Even though I don't play League, I still pop in and say hello. And, if you're not in the middle of an ARAM and, yelling at each other, then, you acknowledge that I'm there. Right.
Yes.
So, because when I came into your stream last night, you guys were very focused, like laser focused. I wasn't even looking at any of this. Nobody was streaming like the video.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, these guys are like, okay, they're playing League. I'm going to see if I could sneak in here very quietly.
Oh, like on Discord? Yeah. I don't even know. Yeah, those must have been some tougher games.
Because I came in, you can hear a pin drop, and normally there's all this banter going on and stuff. That was, I just thought that was hilarious.
That's funny. I mean, I think it's a little difficult for me sometimes though, because I do feel like I have polarizing audiences, and I'm wondering like if this is something that a lot of other like cosplay / streamers have, because I feel like my cosplay audience, like from Instagram, it's very different than like my streaming audience that I've gathered from like League of Legends and everything. So just having those two like communities kind of collide. I don't think I've really experienced much like tension, but I think, I don't know. I just want to make sure like that the other cosplayers like feel comfortable, like that. I don't know. Just making sure everyone feels comfortable, I guess, is what I'm taking from it. Yeah,
I mean, every community's got its cringiness and its like weird aspects of it, mentalities, all these little like inside jokes and slangs. It's inevitable. It's the internet. Come on, you've been on here long enough.
And I'm just like, maybe it's just me, because I'm just like I'm very much about positivity and like including people, especially like with cosplay. Like my Instagram's very positive, and then I'm just like, man, they're gonna come to my stream and see me like raging on League. Like I promise I'm nice. I'm just a little crazy when I play League.
Yeah, totally. It's like, oh my God, Leah, I love your costume. Wow, oh my God, she's yelling at the other team.
Why didn't you heal me?
Yeah, why did you bleep and hear? You know what I mean? Like you just have to censor yourself.
Yeah,
I'm just like, League is a whole nother story for another day. But yeah. So when it comes,
I think too. Sorry, I was just gonna add real quick too. Like I am very much like, I do not care. Like I will play with anyone if they want to come join us. I don't care if we win or lose, unless I'm playing ranked games, but I don't play ranked games like on stream. Good. That's why I'm just like, this isn't a comp game. I don't care what happens.
Gotcha. Unranked, anything goes. Yeah. Good. So actually, I was going to ask about that. Like, so one of my issues that I had when I joined a new community is like joining a game. Like normally, like you want to get to know the person first and whatnot, whatever. And that's totally understandable. Like you got to be there for like a certain amount of time and interact. Which as an introvert, it was a little hard for me to open up first. But I noticed that like some characters in your community, let's put them that way, are rather very friendly and vocal, which made me feel welcome. And it made me feel like, I could connect with you guys. So now that you've been on Twitch for a while, like, do you want to be like a big streamer on there? Do you have any like major goals with like streaming? Or because I noticed you mentioned earlier that you did your own media and your own interviews. So I noticed you've been interviewing other cosplayers as well. Did you want to make that like, I know like you post them on YouTube. Did you want to make that like a career, or what other goals do you have on Twitch?
It's hard to say, and I'm still trying to kind of figure this out for myself too. Just again, because I do have a job, which I'm thankful for. It's a full-time job for me. But again, like gaming's always been my passion and just something I've always wanted to do. Specifically, like working for a gaming company. Like if I could do something for Riot, that'd be amazing. Like if I could like help with their interviews or something like that. I do enjoy doing the interviews and just interacting and asking questions, just having the little yap sessions, getting the intel. And I've also done like a little bit of the live streaming, like at cons, because I think a lot of people are always interested in cons, like what that actually looks like on the floor. So doing more of that too. But as a career standpoint, yeah, I guess just kind of more like doing hosting, and just kind of, yeah, being an influence in the gaming industry. So specifically Riot, if I could.
Riot, hit your girl up.
Or Blizzard.
Or Blizzard. I don't know about Blizzard. Well, Blizzard's different now.
Oh yeah, well, more so Riot probably, but
Riot Games, if you need anything, just hit up our girl Leah here. She's
yeah, especially if Faker's around, I will try my best to interview him.
Who's that?
He's like, what is it, demon god? He's like the number one not World of Warcraft, League of Legends player.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's MVP.
Interesting.
You'll have to look him up afterwards.
You're like, you have to look up this beautiful man.
And then you'll want to play League. You're like, wow, I want to be just like this guy.
I don't know. The whole esports thing, I'm more of like a fighting game esport guy.
Okay.
There's even a few streamers on Twitch that I follow in that community. Competitive gaming is a rather like friendly community based on what I've seen. Usually there's really none of that, like, peacocking, like, oh, I'm better than you, and none of that. Didn't seem like it, but
yeah,
that's cool.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's like my competitive gaming there. I mean, I'm not a very competitive gamer. I just do it for fun, like casuals, like, go to a barcade and they have like a casual tournament going on, like, did you ever do any of that ever? Like go to
oh yeah, we have a couple of them here. We like going to them a lot. I think the big one here in Chicago is Ignite. There's Mid Lane Esports. They do a lot of like the fighting game tournaments too. Or like we have a friend that actually competes with Tekken. So we had Combo Breaker. I don't know if you've heard or been to that one. That was here in Chicago area.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I went to that one. I cosplayed as Chun-Li. So it was fun.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you ever play Street Fighter back in the day, or?
I did. Not competitively. Okay. I'm not great at fighters. My favorite fighter though, I love Soul Calibur.
Yes.
And Marvel vs. Capcom.
High fives. Double high fives. Yes. Oh my god. Soul Calibur.
I cosplayed, one of my like first costumes was Tira from Soul Calibur 4, I think, that version.
Yeah. From
PS3. Her red and green one.
Is she your favorite Soul Calibur character?
Yeah, and Voldo.
Voldo, yes.
I loved him.
God, this is the
He's so goofy.
Funny noises that he makes when you hit him and stuff. It just
I just love his like goofy movements.
Yeah, my favorite is Siegfried. I love Siegfried in Nightmare. Yeah, because like I don't know if you ever played Soul Edge or Soul Blade on like the first Soul Calibur game. Before Soul Calibur, there's Soul Edge and then Soul Calibur. Yeah, I remember playing that in the arcade like way back in the day, and like the big sword, because he's just a range character. You can just you can stand right over here and just hit the Y button. And then when they made Soul Calibur 2 on GameCube with Link, that was super awesome. Those were good times.
God,
why isn't gaming the same as it was then?
But, I know. Well, the crazy thing, they don't have Soul Calibur on any of like the brackets anymore either.
Yeah, they don't. It's not a game they play much. I think like the oldest they go is like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I think. Ultimate.
I think they did have that there.
Yeah. And Street Fighter 3. I think that's like the oldest game they play. Can you please share with me and the audience, those of you who don't play League, what is so appealing about that game?
Nostalgia.
Okay.
I guess it's the build up and like the commitment, I guess, to it too, because I think it is a hard game, like for beginners. It's not very beginner friendly. I will say that. You have to go through this series of playing with bots, and like there's a lot to learn, because realistically, I mean, just like any game where you're competing, you have to figure out what all the characters do, because you need to know how to counter them. They have 166 characters. That's a lot of characters to like kind of learn what the abilities are that you have to counter.
Yeah.
For one. So I kind of say too, it's very much a strategic game, almost like a game of chess where you're just kind of like waiting it out or like waiting for your opportunities. There's just a lot of ins and outs to it. So I think it's just one of those things too, where it's like, man, like this is difficult, and I want to be really good at it. Like it's just like, I guess it's just an unhealthy obsession to like want to prove it to yourself that like I can do this, I could dominate this. I don't know, but I think it's one of those two. Like I had the same thing happen where I'm like started playing the game, like, man, this sucks. I'm so bad at this. I just keep dying nonstop. And then you like find the character that works for you, and you're just like, oh my God, I'm doing it. Like I'm actually getting kills. I'm gonna like master this character. I'm gonna look up everything I can. I'm gonna see what build works the best for them. So once you like find those couple of characters and like you really kind of like do your research, like it is rewarding in that regard. But again, it's hard because it's a team game. So like you can do your best and play really well, and then your team can just really let you down. And of course, there's the toxic community that they may start saying things. But you can always put people on mute. But I will say it's fun with friends. But if you're going to play with friends, make sure that they're friends that, you know, are going to be okay if you die or like different things.
Exactly.
Like you have to find a good group of people to play with for sure.
Yeah, one that's not going to nitpick at everything and like say, what the F, why aren't you doing this?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. You know, oh, you did that with the, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think you need you have to learn that. I mean, this is just something I learned from gaming over the years too. Like there's some people that they just play just to play.
Yeah.
Like they don't necessarily want to get better. So it's like, do I want to coach them or give them any advice, or they just don't care? And like, that's fine. They can play, like, just let it be then. Like if, you know, that's just how some people are.
Exactly. Everyone's got their own style, you know, just let them do their thing. But okay, so based on what you're telling me, it's very competitive. It's very in depth. Like you said, 166 characters to choose from. That is a lot. I did not know that actually, that there's that many characters. And I don't know, like you're right. It is not a very beginner friendly game, because when I first played it, I was just dying constantly all the time. Like, am I doing the right thing? Why is my friend yelling at me for not helping them? It's like when I'm getting killed here. Is it a MOBA game? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it'd be a MOBA.
Okay. It's like a MOBA game is like where you work together, right? Like in a team. So there's like a strategy involved. So like, how can you cooperate with, say you're playing with randos? Like, what do you normally do to tell the randos that you don't know? Like, how do you work with them? Like, how do you know you can trust them to play, to hope that they're going to do the right thing?
You just hope and pray. No, I mean, the game, like, there's a general understanding of like what the objective is. Obviously, you want to get the Nexus on the other team, but to do that, you have to get through the different turrets. You have to kill the people in your lane. That's the laning phase. That's what it starts at. But yeah, just like that laning phase can last a while. You have junglers that are going to come down and gank you sometimes. A lot of it's just really like map awareness too. Right. You do have objectives on the map too that'll spawn. So you've got like Dragon, you've got, you know, the Rift Herald. These are all the things that'll like give you buffs to your team. So the objectives are actually pretty important, and that's kind of dependent on your jungler. So junglers actually have like one of the more influential roles in the game. Since they're kind of roaming the map, they kind of have like the free reign and can make more plays. But again, your team has to be aware, like, oh, the jungler's here, I should probably move in on this person. And I think one of the like biggest things too, especially for newer players, is like knowing like when to commit to a fight and when to back off. Because you might start going in and like, oh shoot, I got hit by this spell, like I can't face them now. Or like, I got hit by this spell, but I still have this other spell I can use. Like, I'm going in full on, you know? And I guess at that point too, just like getting that from your team. So like telling them like, hey, look, like I have this item built, or I have this, like, we're committing to all these fights. Or like pinging, using the different like map systems that they have. That helps with the communication too.
Gotcha. So
just looking at your map really.
So there's a whole dynamic behind it. It seems the whole strategy dynamic, and it sounds like it's like a skill you need to have. Like you just have to naturally develop it, I guess.
It's really practice. Yeah.
Gotcha. I'll make note of that.
And I mean, when they have changes, so I mean, a character, you know, their skills are always going to be the same, but you can build them differently. So I mean, you can build, you know, Annie the spellcaster with like AD attack damage items instead of like her magic items. Like there's these different things that you can do, or like building against it, like for more armor, magic resistance, like just different things that you can do to like make it a better like countering experience.
Gotcha.
There's a lot to it.
Yes, for sure. Thanks for the tips and for sharing. For anybody else that plays League that has anything else to add to that, please add it down below. I think you mentioned you brought some pieces with you of cosplay that you wanted to share.
I did,
Is that right?
yes.
What you got there?
So all of my like bigger props are downstairs. I never feel like lugging them up. So I've got a couple of mine here. Let's see. So I've got this little guy. This is actually from BioShock when I did my little sister. So this is one of like my first little props that I made. And this was just kind of like stuff from around the house. So if you look on BioShock, the little sisters will carry this around. So it's got literally stuff from around the house that I like put together. If you could see it all.
Oh, cool.
So this is kind of like my beginning. This is from like 2010 or something. This little guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got his little like drill bit. It's supposed to be like a Big Daddy doll.
Yeah.
Like from the game.
That's awesome. I never played BioShock yet, but
Oh, you haven't? You need to. It's so good. And then I have this big guy here. This was from one of my more recent costumes.
Oh.
So, like I said, that one that I had was like made with stuff around the house. This is something that I actually 3D printed. I have some resin casting. So just showing like the different materials and how they've evolved. This is like EVA foam. All this here. This is for Boss Raiden Shogun from Genshin. Got some holographic stuff going on in here. Trying to see if it's focusing right. I don't know.
Wow.
And yeah, just putting some extra foam on here. So it literally just like attaches on my shoulder and then wraps around.
Dang.
Not very comfortable to wear all day, but looked really cool in pictures.
Wow, that is really cool. Dang, how long did it take you to make that?
So with the 3D printing, I mean, this is a bigger piece. So that took about maybe 3 days. And then the painting, I did a lot of different coats. This was actually like a car paint that I used, the spray paint. So it's got like that nice sheen and like iridescent look to it. And then the thing is too, like with a lot of the costume stuff, you can make it look really nice. But then you have to like think of the engineering part of it. Like, how am I going to get this to actually like fit on my body and like stay in place? So I had these two pieces that printed, but then they had to like raise up a certain way. So it doesn't look as pretty in here, but I had to stack a bunch of foam bits in there to raise it up and connect it to these other parts here. So fortunately you don't see it when it's on, but if you look really closely, that's all the inner workings of it.
Wow. So you're just like using styrofoam and like kind of like cheaper materials on the back end to kind of accommodate back there. It's a little trick of the trade.
Something I do that a lot with like my 3D prints. I'll like reinforce them with foam on the back of them because if it were to crack or something, I mean, it's a lost cause at that point. So at least the foam keeps it in place a little bit easier.
Wow, that's really cool. So like I'm sure like when you're making accessories, like I was gonna ask you earlier about like armored cosplay, like how you said earlier just now, like the dimensions and like all that, like how it's gonna hang on you. Like, is there like, do you take like measurements or something like that, or like do you get like tips from like other cosplayers to do it? Like how do you calculate that exactly?
Usually I'll do like a rough sketch, like a pattern for it. So I'll literally just like put a piece of paper on me and kind of like roughly draw out what I want it to be. And then put those together and see if that's the size that I need, or if I need to like add extra paper or whatever I need to do. Like create the mock-up first with paper and then go on and do it with the foam or like the 3D printing. If I know the size that I need that way, I can rescale it like in the modeler.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So like a sketch, like, so you just kind of like to give you like a visual. So you do all your own concept art.
The only time I think I ever like did a sketch was for my Snow White costume that I commissioned, because I like had this idea in my head. I don't have it with me, but I did like draw it out because I'm like, man, I have like all these ideas and how I want it to look. Like, how can I tell this person, like, let me just draw it.
Oh, cool. What was the weirdest place that you've cosplayed that was not a con or like a competition?
It's a good question. I mean, I've been in like downtown Chicago pretty often in costume, and that always gets some looks. especially on the train. So yeah, that might be the weirdest ones.
Oh, like when you're like doing a photo shoot in the city, or
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. Like,
So just like walking into, the L, like the red line, and it's like, hey, like
oh,
I'm just Rukia right now.
what about like a company Halloween party, or like, I don't know, a costume party, like that's not anime related or anything? Like, have you ever cosplayed at any of those, or been to one?
Like for my own like company parties.
Yeah.
I've never like done full on cosplay. I've just done like basic like witch costumes and stuff. I don't know. Like it's funny because they all know that like I cosplay, but I'm like, I don't want to bust out like these random anime characters.
Why not? Show it off.
Yeah.
It'll give you another reason to wear it, right?
True. That's true. Yeah, I think just like being out in public, really.
Okay. I think like
But you get kind of used to it after a while. Or
right.
people like honestly
Yeah.
like the public think it's kind of cool anyway. They're just like, oh, like we went to one of the botanical gardens for a photo shoot and we were in our Genshin stuff.
Oh, okay.
And like at this point, like Genshin wasn't as big, so I didn't think anyone was actually gonna recognize us. Like obviously, like we look like video game characters.
Yeah.
But like these kids came up to us and they like knew who we were, and these were like 10-year-old kids, like not like like anime club high school kids. Like I'm like, what the heck? You play this game?
Oh, cool. It's like fans of the franchise were around.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, I think if you were to go to like Manhattan, New York City or something like that, like you would like, they have like the cosplayers down by Times Square, random costume characters that charge up the wazoo for a picture.
I know.
I think like the weirdest place that I cosplayed was like the actual last cosplay I did was, have you ever played Detroit Become Human?
No, I heard of it though.
Okay. It's one of those like games where you're like it's like one of those build your own adventure games, like where your choices will affect the outcome of the game. And so I cosplayed as a character from there. He actually streams on Twitch. He's like an android character, and I dressed up as that character from a video game at Disneyland for the
That's cool.
Oogie Boogie Bash Halloween party. Some of like the cast members there like knew who I was, and like there's like a Kingdom Hearts Donald and Goofy that was actually like from Disney that were there. Like I was like, oh, Crow, another video game character. Cosplay.
That's cool. But
Yeah.
that's so nice, like when people recognize those like lesser known characters.
Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah, and then like people were cosplaying as like Naruto, and like I think there was like some Attack on Titan characters like walking around. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Like it was
That's fun.
like they're dressing up at Disneyland as your best or California Adventure more specifically, but it's cool getting on a ride like that. And like I was in character when I was like, because you can interact with the characters at Disneyland, and they're in character, so like it was interesting. Like I met Kim Possible and Ron Stoppable, and I was like in character as this detective android. And
Nice.
it was a really interesting interaction. I gotta put it that
Fun
way.
crossover.
Yeah, true. Because they look for baddies, and I look for baddies.
Yeah.
So
It works.
that would be pretty cool. Yeah, you should do that sometime. Go to like a Disney Halloween party and just cosplay.
Oh, I would love to. I've been wanting to do that one that you're talking about, the Oogie Boogie Bash, or
Yeah.
there's like another one for Mickey's Boo Bash, or I don't know. But yeah, I want to do that for sure. Especially since I have like my princess costumes. I'm like, well, I want to wear that to Disneyland if I can. Perfect
Oh, totally.
timing.
Yeah, yeah.
So that I think, yeah, that's the only time you can wear costumes there, right?
Yeah. As adults, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can come in like a Jedi outfit if you're doing like the workshop or whatever.
Okay.
Something like laid back like that, but not like full on princess, because
Yeah.
like they might think you're a cast member and want a picture with you.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to like make costuming a job like that? Like, did you ever want to be one of those characters in any theme parks or?
So I would have wanted to, but I don't meet the height requirements.
Oh, really?
So yeah, because I actually looked it up before, and I'm only 5 foot tall. So
Really?
the only characters that I could actually audition for would be Tinkerbell and Alice.
Oh, true.
Which I'm like, ooh, being Tinkerbell would be kind of fun. She's like a sassy little fairy.
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard though that those interviews are like, they're really cutthroat. Like they're hard. I know I've had a couple people that I've followed like from the con community that have gone to those, and like they're amazing. Like they went to acting school, they like look the part, and like they've had to go through like 5 different auditions, and they like ended up getting jobs like in Main Street. Like they still couldn't get the face characters. So it's like, it's crazy. Like, and you have to know so much of the lore and like how to respond to everything. So kudos to them.
Exactly. And like, I think like some of them can't say that they are Snow White or Cinderella. They have to say, I am friends with them. Yes.
Yeah.
Like having to stay in character, like having to maintain that even outside of work is like it's very bizarre, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's the magic.
Yes. You got to maintain that. I noticed you are also an emo kid. What were your favorite bands growing up, and what emo bands did you like?
So I wouldn't say I was like big into emo. I was more of like a punk girly. So I definitely was big into Blink-182. I'll still say that they're like my favorite band growing up.
Yes.
Like
Blink.
back when I was, gosh, I'm trying to think like when I discovered them, maybe like 11. Like obviously like everyone heard all the small things, but like really diving into their discography. My friends' brothers, they were older brothers, like we found their CDs and like they would listen to them all the time, like, ooh, this is fun music. So then I just got really into them, and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket came out when I was like 13, and I'm like, oh my God, relatable.
Yes.
So I've grown with them a lot. But also I think it like helped me open up like into different bands. So more of the actual like punk, because they're more pop punk.
Yeah.
So I was big into like Rancid, NoFX, AFI. And then I got into more like psychobilly. So I kind of steered into, I remember I got like this Vans Off the Wall like album from like one of my Vans shoe purchases.
Oh, yeah.
And like it had like a pretty good compilation. So I found Tiger Army on there. That was also one of my top bands. So that opened me into the world of psychobilly. So I was really big into that for a while too. And yeah, I still listen to a lot of it now. Alkaline Trio, that's another big one, and also from Chicago.
Yeah.
Some Celtic punk like Flatfoot 56, Flogging Molly, Dropkick Murphys. So I would go to shows all the time too. So like even when I was in high school, I'm still surprised like my mom let me get on the train to go to downtown Chicago in these like kind of sketch areas to go to these little venues.
She just wanted you out of the house, right?
Yeah. She's like, you're good, right? Like, yeah, Mom.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, I got to experience a lot of cool bands. Obviously, did Warped Tour. I think, what was it? Did I go like 2008? It was when Katy Perry was there, and it was funny because she like had like this tiny stage, and she just like had "I Kissed a Girl." Like that was like her main song.
Yeah. Like
we didn't think she was gonna blow up, and it's like, whoa, look at her now.
Yeah, she's one of the really big names that came out of that tour. Paramore, My Chemical Romance. Blink. And being from Chicago, so many good acts come out of there. The Smashing Pumpkins is one of my favorite first bands that I really came to know. Fall Out Boy, of course, and the band Chicago, obviously. So like, it's such a musical town. It's full of talent, and it's full of like also media, like the John Hughes films, Home Alone, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Oh, there's that other band, Lucky Boys Confusion.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen them a couple of times.
They're so good. Like I flew all the way from here to there for their 25th anniversary, 20th or 25th anniversary in a show in Rosemont. And it was super cool. Like I was in their video package because like you had to like take a video of you like congratulating them. Like I saw them like on an HBO special like way back in the day. I forgot what it was called. I think it was called Elektra or something like that. Where bands that were signed to Elektra Records were on there, and they had a show in LA. And I saw them play their song Boss Man, like their main song, and a couple others. And I was like, wow, these guys are really good. I've traveled far and wide for like obscure bands that like broke up years ago. Like I went to Jersey to see this band from a video game on PlayStation, like on one of those skateboard video games. And
nice.
It was like all the way for one day to New Jersey from here.
Wow.
Just to see them live.
Wait, what band was it?
They're called Weston.
Okay, I don't know that one. Was it from Tony Hawk's game?
It was actually before Tony Hawk. It was a game called...
I know that soundtrack was good.
They were from this game called Street Skater before Tony Hawk. It was like right before the Tony Hawk.
Okay.
Craze. And they had one song on there. It was the only song I ever knew for like years. And I just became a hardcore fan. And then once like Amazon Music became a thing, like, iTunes, remember iTunes? Like I was like looking for them. I was like, oh, they have more albums. Oh my god, I love this. It's punk rock. It's just awesome. Anyway, so like you've done Warped Tour, which I miss greatly. Opening up the pit at 10 in the morning, like there's nowhere else on the world would have that.
Yes.
Hot and sweaty. Like was it like really muggy where you were? Like
I think so. It's been so long. I just remember like because I forgot it. I am to some ska music too. So I do remember like being in like the skank pit for like Real Big Fish. Like that was a fun time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always scorching hot. We do have Riot Fest though, which is kind of like it's not quite Warped Tour, but it's like I think kind of a version of it. But yeah, I mean, if you're into those kinds of bands, I'd recommend that. If you come out to Chicago, it's like a 3-day event, and they've got a lot of the punk and emo bands playing, some metal bands. I went there a couple years ago. Blink-182 was supposed to headline, but they ended up having to cancel, and the Weezer was there.
Oh,
I'm trying to think who else I saw. Sum 41 was there too. There's a bunch of bands though.
Yeah, Riot Fest and like wasn't Lollapalooza also out there? I think.
Yeah, I still have never been to Lollapalooza. I've driven through Lollapalooza traffic, but never been to the show.
Do you like Linkin Park?
I've never really been a fan of them.
Oh.
And I'm going to be a little biased here. I think it's because the old Halo montages ruined them for me. Like there was always these montages on YouTube that like would just play Linkin Park every time. They're calling it. And it's like, oh no. But I mean, I don't hate them. I just never really got into them.
No. Gotcha. You're more.
But I do like the new song though that they have for League.
Oh, that's right.
The Heavy as the Crown one, yeah.
Good thing. Okay, now they're appealing to you because they did a song. Was it Arcane? Did they do a song for that show? Oh, okay.
Well, I think too, just because, I mean, back then too, a lot of the stuff that you would hear was just on the radio. So if it was just like the same 2 songs playing over and over, I'm just like, okay, I've heard this song so many times. Like I don't want to try to listen to them anymore.
Right, but unless it's part of League of Legends, then it's bearable.
Yeah. Sadly. Right, I'm sorry to all the Linkin Park lovers out there.
Oh, it's okay. We'll try to not be offended by you saying that. Well, like 21 Pilots did a song for Arcane.
I heard that one too. See, I like 21 Pilots. I do like them.
Yes. You like them or you love them a lot?
I don't think I've listened to them enough to love them.
Okay.
Yeah. Our relationship with 21 Pilots has not gone to that level yet. I need to listen to them more.
But now they have a song in Arcane. Hopefully you'll like them more, for sure.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing them in concert though. I did have like my TikTok algorithm was showing me a lot of their concerts and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty fun.
Honestly, it's one of those shows where it's more like an experience than just a show. Like you get so enamored and so engulfed in the music. Especially, I mean, it'd make more sense if you're a fan, but like you being there, it's like, I never thought that just 2 guys on a stage can create such an experience. Like even when I first saw them, I didn't know who they were when I first saw them 10 years ago, but I was blown away, like just completely by the showmanship, their antics on stage, I mean, they're not like Blink, like 2 guys like bantering at each other doing toilet humor, which is amazing, right? Like Tom, there's just the combination between Mark and Tom is just super unique, and when they're like yelling all these sexual jokes at each other on stage, it's just the best thing ever, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm so glad Tom is back with them.
Me too.
Right.
I literally was like obsessed with Blink-182. Like I tell people I like them, but I don't think they know that I like really liked them.
Oh, really?
Well, because I mean back then too. So there was no YouTube. So like to find my source of news, I remember like going on like the Blink-182 website and just like seeing like anytime they'd upload stuff.
Yeah.
And I think there's Yahoo. Was there Yahoo groups or like message boards or something?
Yeah.
Because I remember like, yes, I was part of those. Like that's how like I would talk to fans and stuff. Yeah. So like I'd bond over Blink-182 with these people or like find out rumors or like all these things. Yeah. I was well immersed in it. So that's why I'm like, I feel like I like grew up with them and like all of their drama that they had, like Travis's, injuries with the helicopter, like their hiatus, their breakup and stuff. Like to see them all together now and like their song like One More Time, I'm like, ugh. Like it's deep.
Yes, it's very emotional. It's like they just get with the times. They're not just doing the same thing over and over again. They actually like, it's just a band you really grow up with. Like, you know, it's funny that you mentioned back then, like there was no YouTube. So like anytime you saw Blink on television, like primarily on MTV, like they had like their specials. They had like The Road Home. They had like, you know, the video, like was it Making the Video? Like when they like filmed their music video and then they debut it that day. Just seeing them on TV, just like I wanted to be Tom DeLonge.
Yeah.
Like, Blink guitar is I wish I brought it out, but like.
Oh, you have one too? I have one. I have Tom's guitar.
You have Tom's guitar?
Yeah.
Like is it the Gibson?
The Fender Stratocaster. Like the seafoam green one, like from back like What's My Age Again days.
Oh, that's so cool. How'd you get that?
My mom got it for me, I think from eBay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was like my 8th grade. We didn't have like an actual graduation, but it was like my like leaving middle school gift that my mom got for me. Yeah. So it's got like the Tom DeLonge nameplate on it. I'm like, oh, I will cherish this forever.
Oh, that's so cool. I can play some Blink songs. Do you play guitar ever?
I used to a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't like well versed in it. I would just play the tabs. I did play piano though, and oboe.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Piano. Can you still play piano now?
I can a little bit. I took piano lessons for a long time, like when I was a kid and like teenager, but haven't played in a really long time. I can still read music though a little.
What other hobbies do you have outside of streaming and cosplay and gaming?
I just feel like I have too many.
Really?
Those ones take up a lot of time, but I will say too, I do enjoy traveling. So again, I do travel for work and I do like to go on hikes and like checking out like different historical things. I'm into a lot of like old stuff. So anything I could find that gets that little itch for me. What else? I do like to do like cross stitching and needlework. That's not always with cosplay. So just like other forms of crafting. Yeah, I think that's about it. But yeah, travel's a big one. I do want to go to more places, especially like out of the country. I know next year I'm hoping to do Scotland and Japan. That's what we're projecting.
Oh, that's right. I was going to ask you if you ever been to Japan. So you never been?
No, never been. I'm a little nervous though, because I don't mind flying, but I hate water. And I know you said like you don't know how to really swim much. I also don't know how to swim very well, but just deep water in general scares me. So I'm like terrified to swim over the ocean for that long. I don't know why. Because
fly over the ocean.
Is what it is.
You're not going to swim to Japan, but like you're going to.
No, like just fly, like just knowing that all that water is there and like I can't like escape it for like 10 hours like freaks me out.
Fun fact, I don't know if you ever knew this, but whenever they do those cross like those really long flights, the airplanes actually fly close to the land. So that way, just in case of an emergency, they're close to like a country.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So you're not like over the middle of the Pacific, you know, just.
Okay, are you sure though? Because I looked up all these different flight paths because I'm like, I was literally like, what am I going to do? I'm like, should I go to Seattle so we can like go up towards like Alaska and Russia? Or like if we go to California, then we're going to be like straight over like the Pacific. Like, I mean, obviously I know there's still like that curve, like, you know.
There's always Hawaii nearby.
I was researching.
Oh, you did your research.
Yeah, I did some research.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm trying to prep for it.
And there's always, you know, like you've been in an airplane before, right? In case of a water landing, you use life preserver at the bottom.
I don't want to do that. I don't want that to happen. I don't even want to think about that.
I know. Knocking on wood. I'm knocking on wood for you.
Okay.
Take it from someone who's flown to Asia multiple times. It is a long flight. It is very long. But thankfully now they have the internet and music and stuff to like keep you entertained for 11 hours, however long. They're pilots. They know what they're doing. But the best thing is to always just keep in mind of where you're going. Just focus on the destination, because once you get there, all your fears will go away. Like literally as you're flying in, I don't know if you've ever seen like a video of it, but like when you're flying in, you look out the window, you see how well organized everything is. And you see all the little cars driving by like you see in animes. You're just like in La La Land. So I'm really excited for you that you're going to Japan for the first time. That's super cool.
Yes.
Because it is a
Like
whole
a
nother
bucket
world.
list.
Yes, totally. That's every weeb's dream, right? Is to go to Japan. Highly recommend hitting up like a ramen shop in the middle of a busy train station underground. Best ramen ever. It'll be the best ramen you'll ever have compared to any place here in America. Conveyor belt sushi. Have you ever had gyudon?
What is it?
It's like thinly sliced beef over rice, like a beef bowl.
Oh, no.
Really
I'm actually vegetarian. So that's the other thing too. I'm like, I would have to make sure I can like find stuff that's vegetarian there.
There are more like pescatarian, what you'd mostly find like, but there is like salad. Salad's a pretty big dish there, you know, like vegetarian. It's like vegan foods are becoming a lot more popular. So.
Yeah. Well, I know too, like one of my friends, they've had people that they're friends with that have gone and like, cause that's my thing. Like, I don't know Japanese. So I'm like, I want to make sure what I'm saying is like translating the right way for them. And they actually like printed a card that said like, hi, this is my dietary restriction. I'm vegetarian. Like, so they could like show them and like, no, you know, no fish, no this. Cause sometimes like other countries and like, they'll think vegetarian something different. Like some people like they think that fish is vegetarian, which like you said, it's pescatarian, but yeah, every culture is a little different with what they think is okay. Yeah,
totally. A lot of their dishes are like have meat, you know, or some dairy in it, but I don't know. Do you eat dairy as part of your like cheese?
Yeah, so I'm not vegan. I will eat cheese and eggs. So that at least opens up a little bit more options for me.
Yes, their 7-Elevens or their convenies, their convenience stores are way better than ours.
Like their egg salad sandwiches I see in 7-Eleven, I'll just eat those the whole time.
Yes. Oh, I love those.
Their 7-Elevens look so good there.
Their food is amazing. Their 7-Eleven is so good there. Like they have all the great snacks. They even have like a magazine rack that's still full of magazines that people buy. And like manga, like it's just so cool. Like, and their arcades, there's still arcades everywhere there. Not as much as before, but they're still around. And like anime stores, bookstores, like it's just a whole nother world down there. And I'm really 100% sure that you're going to love it. You know, all the temples, all like the touristy stuff too.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for because I really want to see like the countryside and all of that part of it. Mount Fuji, go to some like onsens.
Yes, totally. It's awesome. Totally. There's so much I could talk. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. So
when I actually plan my visit, I'll have to approach you to like help out with the itinerary for sure.
Oh yes, totally. Hit me up. I got you.
Yes.
So this is a question I ask all my guests at the end of every interview: is what is next? What is next for Leah? What is next for your cosplay and your stream?
So as far as events that are next for me, I do have a couple here in Chicago that I'll be doing. So I'll be at UchiCon. It is a Chicago University convention that'll be next month. Possibly Anime Milwaukee. We've got C2E2 that will for sure I'll be at. If you've never been to C2E2, it's one of our bigger cons here in Chicago. It's directed by Reed Pop. So it's the same ones that do like New York Comic Con. It's the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. So it's really fun. It's actually downtown Chicago too. So you get like that full experience. So definitely check it out if you haven't, especially if you're into like comics and things like that. So that one is in April. I'll be attending. And as far as for streaming, I'm still streaming pretty consistently, usually 3 days a week. I'm going to be doing some fun holiday stuff soon. I do want to do some more interviews coming up. I did have a series before for cosplay interviews, so I want to do some more of those. And I think that about wraps it up. Yeah. Maybe some more press and interviews too for the cons.
Where can we find you, Leah? What is your social media on Instagram?
So I am LeahLux on everything. So sometimes I have a little underscore at the end because the original LeahLux was taken. So on Twitch, I'm just LeahLux, LeahLux. Instagram, LeahLux with the underscore. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitter/X. I think that's it then. Yeah, those are the big ones.
Awesome. Guys, please check out LeahLux, and all of our social media platforms will be down in the comments section below. So, Leah, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Everybody, please give it up for Leah. Woo.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Cupcake Dice, and you are watching 21st Pilots Lounge.